Okay.
Okay, I'm recording. You're recording. Great.
Yep.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
We're going to do the intro first. Then we're going to take a quick break and say, okay, Ashley, we're taking that break. Then we'll do the show. So we want to give you a little heads up and we're going to give you a little pause so we can have you have the space that you need. Okay, here we go. I have to stop that. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
I just realized I rubbed my legs again like I'm not supposed to. Sorry, Ashley. I'm going to stop doing that. I promise. Okay, pineapple. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
And we're just two rad fatties sitting around
Chewing
the fat. So, welcome to our show. We do it twice a month, and we will be chatting all about current events.
Hot topics.
Exactly. Sex toys, relationships, fat politics, CBD, cannabis, and any other topic that comes to our heads, to our minds. And thanks for being a part of our community. Damn it. Okay, one more time.
Good. Pineapple.
Okay, here we go. Hi. One more time. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
I said that weird. I'm sorry. Merf.
It's all good.
Okay. Pause. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
We're just two rad fatties sitting around
chewing the fat.
Is that okay?
Now let's do that again. I think we should go pause and then say just like one
pause, one
yeah,
beat.
and then say it together.
Okay.
Sorry, pineapple.
Here we go again, Ashley. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
And we're just two rad fatties sitting around
chewing the fat.
Yay, welcome to our show. We do this twice a month and we will be chatting all about current events, hot topics. That's your line. Say it again.
Hot topics.
Sex toys, relationships, fat politics, cannabis, CBD, you name it, we're going to talk about it. If a topic comes up, we're talking about it. We really appreciate you being a part of our community. Enjoy.
You want to do it one more time?
Let's do it one more time. Okay. That was, she'll have something.
It was good. Yeah, that way she's.
It was not perfect, but it was good. It was better.
It's good. I know. I was
like, sorry, Ashley. Okay, here we go. One more time. Hi. Oh, let me give her a pause. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
And we're just two rad fatties sitting around chewing the fat. Twice a month, we will be chatting all about current events,
hot topics,
sex toys, relationships, fat politics, cannabis, CBD, you name it, we're going to talk about it. We're really excited to have you part of our community. Welcome and enjoy.
Excellent.
Pineapple, we're done. Now let's do the show.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just going to say again, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal. You're going to say I'm Merf.
Yep.
And then I'm going to ask you about the Super Bowl.
Sounds good.
All right, Ashley, here we go. This is like after this, there's no going back. if we screw something up really bad, then let's just say pineapple. But if we don't, we'll just keep on going. And you have the extra recording, so that should help, Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay, everything's recording. I'm recording. We're live. All right, let's do this. Hi, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. I'm Crystal.
I'm Merf.
Welcome. Hi. Merf, how are you?
I am doing great. It's been a wonderful week, and I'm excited to have all the fun topics to talk about tonight.
It was so fun launching our first show, too. It was so fun to get the good feedback and stuff. I just really loved it.
Yeah, it was really
nice response from people. So, Merf, did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you watch the halftime show? Were you boogieing down to the halftime show like the rest of us?
Oh my gosh, yes. Those were like, oh, my people. I was just like, this is the what I grew up on, what I loved.
The soundtrack to like my late high school, early college years, for sure.
Yeah.
Driving around, cruising, like I grew up in Las Vegas and Reno, and just cruising and listening to all those amazing songs and amazing artists. It was amazing. I loved it. Every inch of it, every moment of it. Didn't you?
Yes. And it's so different to see that we finally get to the point where we have hip hop and rap artists on the Super Bowl. It's well overdue.
And Black entertainers, since
Entertainers.
70% of the NFL is Black.
Yeah.
Can't say that for their coaches or,
Yeah,
usually
or
their
their
halftime shows.
douche
Yeah, it was really good. And also lovely to see, Eminem. Haven't seen him in a while. He's kind of disappeared. I know he's in recovery.
Yep.
Mary J, she's in recovery, right? That's so amazing.
Yeah, and they just knocked it out of the park. I
They
mean,
sure did.
they came in and it was just like hit after hit after hit.
I
Even the
love
songs
it.
by Kendrick, like, I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I mean, I enjoy him, but like, Dr.
Yeah.
Dre, Snoop Dogg, that's forever, right? But it was nice. It was a good little break it up and have something kind of new and different. I really enjoyed it.
Dr. Dre on the piano. I
Yes.
never knew. And like you were saying earlier, just waiting for the memes, just sitting here waiting for the memes because we knew they were coming.
Right.
It was
Whenever you
awesome.
get a great facial expression or like Mary J falling back at the end, like, I'm exhausted. I mean, that spoke to so many people on so
Can you
many.
imagine how much rehearsal that took?
I can't. And to do it in those boots,
I know.
those boots were incredible. But can you imagine?
Those she have stockings on her thighs, or is that her skin? They
I
look
don't know.
so beautiful. I was like, oh, Mary J.
Yes.
Wow,
And
amazing.
like, I know that, she's had some discussions about, or her weight has been a topic of discussion.
Yeah.
And then we can get into the whole 50 Cent thing, but, everyone was like, "Oh, the thick thighs on Mary J." And I just, yeah, the thick thighs on Mary
Hello.
J. Did you see them? They were glorious.
Beautiful. Yes, she's so beautiful and amazing and talented and
Yeah.
in recovery, and she's very inspirational.
Yeah.
She's had
Oh,
some shit go down in her life, and
exactly. And
she's a warrior.
that
Yeah,
commercial
the breast
she did?
cancer commercial,
Yes.
pretty amazing. But yeah, I get so sick
Definitely.
of people. Why do people feel like they can comment on our bodies? Like I was telling you earlier, like I'm not a Yelp review. I don't want your review of my body. I'm not TripAdvisor. I don't want your review. Stop commenting on people's bodies. I don't care who they are.
Right.
It's not for discussion. I don't think it's off the table.
Absolutely. No, with 50 Cent and everybody saying he's a buck 50 now, and
Whatever.
just the comments about
Did
his
he
weight and
look?
his
He
body.
looked great. I don't see. I didn't see the fat, but
He
anyway,
looked
I'm sorry to interrupt.
buff.
Yes, he looked
Yeah.
fine. He
And
looked
I'm
great.
sorry, but how many people are gonna be able to hang upside down and rap?
Not me.
Yeah. I I I was appalled that people were complaining about it and
It
making.
blew my mind. It blew my mind. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, in any time that our culture has the ability to make fun of fat people, they jump right in,
Oh, I
right?
know. You don't have to be fat.
It's like that meme of, Vin Diesel where they're like, "Vin Diesel, here's Vin Diesel shirtless on a yacht," and somebody commented below and was like, "Oh, why are you complaining? You would look terrible in a shirt, and you don't
Yeah.
have a yacht."
Right.
It's like, he's on a yacht, shut your mouth. Like, there's
Yes.
nothing for you to comment on his body.
It's so ridiculous. But I loved what he said. He said, "You can't fat shame me if I'm not ashamed of the fat."
He
Boom.
said that?
Well, there's a meme going around, and in fact, we're gonna sort of memify that ourselves because I'm gonna use that line forever.
Seriously,
I'm
that
not
is
ashamed of my fat.
brilliant.
I hope. I mean, I'm gonna have to research it a little bit to make sure it was him that said it, but I was like, that's so true.
That's fabulous. I
If you
love.
make the word fat neutral, people don't have any power over you if you're fat.
Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely, and I would love for a male to do that in
Yeah.
and just say, like, "This is my body, leave me the hell alone."
Well, Seth, what's his name? Seth. I know you know him. Anyway, he said something about hey y'all, people notice when he loses weight and gains weight, and he said, stop the comments, whether you think it's a compliment or not, just stop it,
Oh,
stop
Jonah Hill.
commenting. Yes, Jonah Hill. Thanks.
Jonah Hill.
Mhm.
Yep.
I was like, oh, a man is saying this is so awesome because yeah, it's not helpful if you think someone's lost weight. It's not helpful to compliment them on it because like his weight has been up and down, and so in a year his weight's going to be back, and now he's going to feel like crap because people were like
Yeah.
practically bowing down to him because he restricted for a certain period of time and he was able to lose some poundage, and then like all of us it comes back.
Yep.
and it sucks. And people can be really sick. Sometimes I had an experience about a year ago, this time last year, when my parents' friend, turns out he was dying of cancer. And a family member, when we saw him, we didn't know about the cancer yet. We just knew he was having issues going to the bathroom, we'll just call them. And this person said, "You look so great. Oh my goodness." And then 2 months later, he was gone. And
Oh,
it turned out he was so thin because he had cancer. I don't, just
that's
like I never comment, I think, "Oh, are you pregnant?" I would never say that to a woman.
right.
I would never say, "You look so great. You look so much thinner."
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
No, I've had that experience multiple times where when I had an eating disorder, I had people commenting left and right. Even my doctor was like, "Oh, this is the best you've ever been." And I was just like, "Really?" He knew nothing. But yeah, I really, it just, I never, never, never comment on people's weight, whether they've
Never.
lost it, gained it. I don't care. It's just not my thing.
I prefer to like compliment you on your hair.
Yeah,
"Merf, oh my gosh, look at your hair. It's so gorgeous. It looks great on you." I'm not going to say, "Oh, you look like you might have lost 10 pounds." Oh,
right,
who
right.
gives a shit? I'm going to go
Oh,
up and down 1,000 times in the next 50 years.
and my favorite's like, "Oh, girl, have you lost weight?" Like, ugh.
I always say, "What do you mean?"
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I always say, "I have no idea, I don't weigh myself."
That's a good one. Yeah.
'Cause it's, and usually they shut up when that happens, but yeah, I would love to have a ticker that, like, counted how many times when you interact with people.
Look over your head everywhere you go. It's like
Like
there.
the Sims.
Ding, ding,
Ding,
ding.
ding. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Over
maybe
your
that
head.
more cognizant of the fact that they shouldn't be commenting on your body.
It's so ridiculous, but it's part of our culture.
Yeah,
You and I are trying to change it. We have a lot of amazing friends that are trying to change that culture, and
absolutely.
all we can do is get the word out one person at a time, and like create our podcast that's going to be fat positive and fat friendly, and it's going to hopefully empower people. And for what fat community has done for me is to stop giving a fuck what anybody thinks about my body. I love my body. I love all the things it does for me. I love all the pleasure it gives me, and I try to be grateful for it every day. Like, it lets me walk, it lets me hug you when I see you in person after the pandemic.
Right.
It does so many amazing things for me. My very fat body does amazing things for me, and that's what I hope other people get from listening to our podcast.
Right? I
Yeah,
know, and I try to keep in perspective too, like, this is the most successful I've ever been, and I'm the fattest I've ever been, like,
yeah,
that's pretty fucking grand.
absolutely. I agree. Yeah. So, what other current events do we have going on? What do you have anything else about Super Bowl that you wanted to mention?
No, I could care less about the football.
Oh, the fat cheerleaders on Snoop's
Oh,
stage.
yes!
Oh, what are they called? They have a Tigress shared the name of them. Oh, they are so fantastic. Did you
Incredible.
just? Off the couch. Wow! Oh my God! There's fat cheerleaders.
And behind Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg is notoriously known for his fat phobia kind of comments on social media. And
Yeah.
they were just dancing up behind him. I was like, "Whoa, hmm."
I got the chills just thinking about how it was amazing. I wonder if somebody said, "You know what, Snoop, you need to you need
Yeah.
to embrace the fat girls, and let's get some fat girls on the stage. You need a little PR in the fat area."
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope somebody pointed it out to him and he was like, "You know what? Let's get some thick girls up here. I wanna see
Yeah.
them dancing around."
There was a lot of dancers that were, I would
Yeah,
say, on the plus size.
absolutely. Even out in the, in the grass where they have the
Uh-huh.
dancers. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
I loved every moment of the halftime show. I could care less about the football. I enjoyed some of the commercials. It wasn't the best year for commercials, but I
Yeah,
still enjoy them. I just fast forward through the football because I could care less. So
yeah.
we TiVo it and then do our thing. And then I don't think, is TiVo still a thing? We record it.
Yeah, DVR it and
I'm
then
T- I, I'm so I'm TiVo age. Okay, I'm 54.
right?
Yeah, it was amazing when it first came out. I was like, TiVo.
Yes. Oh, it's
So what
fun.
else is going out on anything else?
So have you seen the last episode of Peacemaker? Because
No,
we
I've
were
only
talking.
seen 2 or 3 episodes so far.
Oh, okay, I
He,
won't give any spoilers, but,
okay,
it's intense. It's very intense, and
yeah, his dad is intense. I've noticed that he's like a Klansman, possibly.
He is called the White Dragon. So
Ew.
he is known, he's like a superhero. He's a racist superhero.
Oh
Like,
gosh.
yeah, and it's it's appalling to the point where he says a comment to, and I won't spoil it, but he says a comment to John Cena's character, and I audibly gasped. I'm a therapist, and I audibly gasped at how traumatic the comment he made to him was, and I was
Wow.
just like,
So
"Whoa!"
he's Peacemaker's dad. Did he make this comment to Peacemaker? To John Cena?
Yes, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. But the show is just it's wild, and I love
it
that
is
they have
wild.
2 fat leads.
I know.
Steve
Yes, that
A Steve Agee and Danielle Brooks?
Danielle Brooks is from Orange is the New Black. I loved her in that.
Yes,
She was great. She is great.
she is, and she's great in this show too.
She is.
They have a really, solid relationship that you see
Hmm.
develop throughout the show.
Yeah, and she has a girlfriend or a wife, I believe, right?
Yes, she has a wife
Hmm.
in the show.
Very cool. Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, but John Cena, if they went by the BMI, even though he's all buffed out, he would be considered the O
morbidly
word,
obese. Yeah,
considered obese. Yeah,
I hate that word more than, like, ugh, more than just about any other word. I mean,
pretty much. Yeah.
there's obviously other words, but yeah. But yeah, he's a big guy, and and
He's
in the
all muscle.
he's almo yeah, to the point where his, like, veins are popping out of his skin.
Do you
It's so
know how they get so veiny is they dehydrate themselves?
really?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
his look like they've become, varicose, like, 'cause they're,
mm,
like, permanently protruding from the skin, so I think that's what he has, um but yeah, I love that there's 2 fat leads
yep.
along with John Cena. Now there's been some controversy over the show, there's been some comments, and I'm not a big, Suicide Squad fan, you know,
Mhm, mhm.
I'm more Marvel than I am DC, but, um they really I love when they really deep dive into a character. That's
Yeah,
been my thing lately, and so to see how he become why he wants to be the peacemaker, you know, and you see
yeah,
all that unfold and the choices that he makes and the things that he does, and, it's just great to have 2 fat people alongside him on this superhero journey because we didn't have that, and they're normal people, and they still come up and, like, save the day, and you're
yeah.
just like, "This is amazing."
It's kind of like the show we talked about on our last episode, which is Somebody Somewhere. The person who's the lead is just a person. She's not a fat person. She's not on a diet. She's not on a cleanse. She's just a person. She's just a fully realized human.
Yeah.
Has there been any mention of anybody's size on Peacemaker yet that you've noticed?
Yeah, they have a couple of little, snide comments, and John
Little,
Cena has them towards people, but you
uh,
find out why he's a bully. You find out why he's a bully,
oh yeah, hmm,
and, it's there's this whole scene I know you haven't seen it, but there's this whole scene with Steve, Agee that
hmm,
is just, like it totally explains, like, why he was made fun of by
hmm,
John Cena,
hmm.
and there's this realization to John Cena of, like, "Oh, I shouldn't have made fun of him, like, this is not good," you know? So it's yes, there's some stuff in there, but there's also that ownership of, like, I need to change as a person.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm excited to watch some more episodes
Yeah, and
because it's
it's
just
very
strange enough to not be sure exactly how I feel about it.
it is, it's definitely got some really strange elements to it, and it's very violent. I was surprised by how violent it is, but I
And
think
the eagle, what's the deal with the eagle?
it's just supposed to be like he's the most patriotic person ever. I don't
It's so bizarre.
but it's
Okay.
fun.
It is, it is, it is fun.
Ridiculous, but it's fun.
He looks so
Oh,
real.
and speaking of ridiculous but fun, what about him in his underwear? I know you saw
Yes, and the Hitachi wand,
yes!
singing into it.
Singing into a Hitachi wand in his tidy whities.
All
Hello.
praise the Hitachi wand. All
Yes.
praise. We love you. It's a great
Amazing,
back massager. For those of you not watching this, I'm using air quotes around the words back
right?
massager because it massages everything very well.
Very well. Yes.
But yeah, he's cute dancing in his undies, his little tidy whities.
Yeah. To the, like, the '80s hair metal music.
What
It's
is
just
it?
so fun.
Cinderella? Is that that one girl that he has a hookup with? They kind of like bond over Cinderella. Is that right? Is it
Yeah,
called Cinderella? Yeah.
I think it's
Like
Cinderella.
glam rock from the early 80s.
Yeah.
Hairband rock. Ugh.
And so many people are loving the series just because of the music, 'cause
Oh
you
yeah.
never hear that kind of music anymore, so
Hmm.
it's like, it's just embedded in it, you know?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
My whole childhood. Like,
Seriously, well,
oh
yeah, but there is a lot with the show that could be triggering for some folks.
yeah.
There's, I mean, obviously, if there's somebody called the White Dragon in there, it was like the head of,
Nazism.
yeah, but, you know, I don't think that they leave anything on the table in terms of like, "Oh, we're just doing this frivolously." Like, it
No.
all has a point as to why and how and all those kind of things. Uh,
Cool.
but yeah, I think as you continue on, it'll be interesting to see what you think about it.
So there's some redemption.
There's some redemption and there's some understanding, you know, of just like, "Okay, I can't continue on this kind of way.
Oh, nice.
I have to own some stuff."
Lovely. That's cool.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be
I'll definitely
interesting.
keep going because I think I'm on episode 4, and I think
Nice.
there's only 8, right?
There's only 8, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And they just got approved for a 2nd season.
Oh, just like somebody somewhere got approved for a
Yeah.
second season.
So we got
Very cool.
good stuff in the future.
I know you're all about Marvel, huh?
I am, and really it's because of the mental health of it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Wanda series, the Loki series, the stuff
Mm,
that's on Disney Plus now,
yeah.
where they really, really deep dive into folks, and you just find out about, you know, why they make the choices that they make, and I love, I mean, I'm a therapist, so,
Right.
you know, digging deep into somebody's life and finding out why that led them to make the choices that they make is just, enthralling to me. So, yeah, I love the Marvel series because 'cause they've really been able to do that, where DC has been a lot more fun, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I love. I don't knock it, but I can see that they're starting to get a bit more like, "Oh, we gotta kinda step up the
Catch
game."
up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm excited to see where that goes, but I think it's important, you know, this is pop culture to the max. This, I mean, Martin Scorsese's talking about it and
Wow.
all this stuff about how these superhero movies are just out there and everybody's just, like, devouring them, and but if you're laying in content that has to do about mental health and
Amazing.
growing as a person, like, ho tell
Mm-hmm.
me how that's not a, quote, "movie," right?
Right.
Where he's,
Yes.
like, saying, you know, "Oh, it's not a cinematic masterpiece, blah, 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 blah."
But
Well,
I mean, if young people are loving it and then internalizing this mental health, being more open to mental health assistance later. My
yeah,
generation I'm very open to it, but not everybody in my generation and people that are older than me, oh, I don't want to bring up all that old crap. I don't want to talk about my problems. I think this younger generation, people under 40 and under, I'm so impressed. I'm so amazed. And I love that they're watching these movies and internalizing this stuff because that's really how you become more open to things and concepts that you're not really familiar with.
yeah, it has to be in the popular culture. You know, we
Absolutely.
have to
Yes.
see it. We have to have
Hmm.
representation. I mean, Black Panther changed
Yes.
so much for so many people because
Amazing.
here's this amazing superhero on screen talking about family lineage and understanding where you come from and
Ancestral trauma.
ancestral trauma and just and it was so beautiful and it was, you
It
know,
was,
grief and
is.
talking about there's just so many layers, and that's what I love about it, is, like, that's going to hit a whole new generation, like, they're gonna grow up and see that. I started crying when I watched Wonder Woman,
Oh
and
gosh,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman was okay, it was a fun movie,
Yeah.
but I was just like, "God, I to see a female superhero like this, like, what I would have given when I was 11 years old or 10 years old to see a woman out there, like, being in power, being in charge." Yeah,
I
incredible.
it's funny that you bring that up, about, Black Panther. I had a little Chadwick moment yesterday where I was just so sad to remember that he's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
He's such a great talent, and he sounds like from everybody. Oh, I know what I ran across. I ran across the photo, and you might know this photo, where that gentleman he has a lot of kids. Um, oh, he has a TV show where I can never remember his name. Anyway, he was like
Nick
holding
Cannon.
him. Yes, Nick Cannon. He was holding him from behind, kind of with his arm around his neck, and they were like their faces were very close together, and Chadwick's eyes were closed, and it looked like Nick Cannon was saying something very meaningful possibly to him. And first of all, it's so lovely to see men embrace like that
Mhm.
and to be so intimate with one another like that. And it looked like Nick Cannon really loved him, and like he really loved Nick Cannon back. Like they had a lot of respect. I mean, so much
Yeah.
in this one photo, it said a million things to me. And it was like, I got a little choked up yesterday because
Yeah.
he's not around anymore. We're not going to get to enjoy all his amazing talent.
Right.
I know a lot of little kids look up to him, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a beautiful movie. It really was.
It was, and I'm so glad that the sister is going to be kind of stepping up into a new
I
role.
know. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I
So
think
awesome.
I think it's really interesting that he chose not to disclose his
Yeah.
diagnosis to anyone, and just carry on as if nothing was, stage 4 cancer, and he's just plugging along doing a movie, and wow, just incredible.
Badass.
Yeah, yeah,
Could we take one beat so I
yes,
can cough?
of course.
Pineapple, Ashley.
I'm gonna scoot up in my chair too.
Let me get some water. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to ask you, so is there any listener email? Let me get
Yes.
started again, okay? Okay,
Hold on, let me bring it up because we want to read it, right?
sure.
Or do you
Just,
want to just kind of give us do you want me to ask if there's listener mail since you know the
oh,
synopsis?
yeah, you want me to do that one about the larger person and the smaller penis?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And then I'm gonna make I'm gonna tell you the suggestion from the Texas food dude.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So I'll ask you.
Okay.
All right, Ashley, we're gonna go back to it. So Crystal, do we have any new listener mail?
We do. We have quite a bit of it, actually.
Really?
We're getting quite a few nowadays. I did have one that came in that was really interesting. She is in a new relationship, very much in love. She sent me a picture of him. He's very handsome. They're having so much fun and everything's great. The sex is good. She says the oral sex is great. The only problem is that she's a larger person. She's a woman of size. She says like about a size 16, 18, I think she said.
Okay.
He's 6'5". So at
Oh
first I
yeah.
thought she was, yeah, really tall. And at first I thought she was going to tell me they have a hard time having doggy style sex because sometimes people that are mismatched in height sometimes have difficulty with that.
Right.
But that wasn't her problem. Her problem, and she wouldn't even really say it because we were going back and forth. And she's like, he's smaller where it counts. I said, okay, yeah, I hear you. So what she's finding that his penis might be just average or maybe a little bit less than average. And she's a larger person. So when she's like, her favorite position is on top. And when she starts to get very excited and she feels like she's going to climax, his penis slips out. So,
Okay.
yeah. And so I went through all these questions, have you tried doggy style? She said, just nothing really seems to work. And she wants to make it work. She
Sure.
really loves him. He loves her. They're really into each other. She really wants to make it work. She doesn't know how to do it. And I said, oh, let me ask on our podcast to see what kind of great ideas that Merf has. I have a few, and maybe people can chime in later via email or because our email is sexy@bigsexychat.com. So if people are listening to this and they have ideas, send them in. We'll share them with her.
Yeah.
But do you have any ideas for her, Merf?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would be curious to know if she's tried any toys for assistance because that would
Mm-hmm.
be the first thing.
She
Where
has a bunch of toys. She says when he leaves, she uses her toys on herself so she can become more satisfied.
okay. So has she tried having toys with him in
I
that?
don't I don't think so. Because I asked her two things. What if you had anal? Is that is that on the table? And she said, probably, but they haven't had the discussion yet. And then I said, what about putting a vibrator on your clitoris so that when you are on top, maybe you can have more of a direct clitoral orgasm and maybe not incorporate your vagina as much, and maybe that will help keep him inside of you.
Right.
She says, I have a bullet. I'm open to that idea. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to work, but I thought it was worth a shot.
Absolutely. That was going to be my first thing. Bullet,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
that's going to be especially girl on top. So if we're talking
Mm-hmm.
cowgirl position, um I would avoid bouncing.
Mhm.
I would do more grinding.
Mhm.
So I would suggest, having some pillows behind his head, so
Yeah.
that she could lean forward, hold
Mhm.
on or press into the pillows, and grind her entire pelvic region against
Right.
his. Um, if the average penis size is 6 inches, so I'm guessing he's probably about half that would be my guess.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, I would suggest, the bullet. I would suggest, um, there's options for, like a penis pump. So
Yep.
they could use that beforehand, have some foreplay, get some blood to that area so it's engorged, and
Mhm.
and then try sex. Cock rings, hold the blood to that
I
area.
did tell her that, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say that would be another one, and potentially, they have, penis extenders.
So hard to suggest a penis extender.
Yeah,
It's easier when it's their idea. If
right.
they're, again, most of my relationships have been, hetero, and it's and I used to own a sex toy store, and it's a tough subject to bring up. But there are extenders. It goes on like a condom and adds like 2 or 3 inches.
Right, right.
But it's a tough one, really tough discussion. I asked her, "Does he mention anything?" She said, "No, he hasn't mentioned one word." And she said they both enjoy it with the oral. If she's receiving oral, she's given it, and it works great.
Yeah,
But it's just, I did tell her how we were talking about last week. If you want to get on top, if he dies, he dies. But if you want to get on top, you could get on the floor and
yeah,
put the pillows under your knees, and like you said, kind of grind it more than trying to jump up and down on it.
yeah.
That would be a lot better.
Yeah, the other thing is, I mean, I don't it sounds like she's, if she's a size 16, 18, she probably
Mm-hmm.
and has mobility. Um, if she could put her legs on his shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
that potentially could be a position in which he could have more direct penetration,
Yep.
um, because it would give her butt a little lift. She could even put a little pillow under her butt, so it lifted
Wow.
that would give her a bit more option. Um,
One of
to
my
have that,
personal favorites. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just saying that to have that like bouncy feeling,
Uh
if
huh.
that's what she was looking for, rather than the grinding feeling, she would be able to have more of that in that
For
position.
sure.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is to get all the way to the edge of the bed with my butt
Mhm.
and then legs up on his chest, or using the sling that we're going to talk about at the end of the show. But if you
Yes.
get your butt all the way to the end of the bed, even a little bit off, if you trust your partner to help you not to fall on the floor, you gotta have a little trust there,
You do?
and then they can walk up, and then it does give them the ability for more depth,
Right.
and that might be something they could use there. It's always a sensitive subject because people born with penises don't like to hear too much criticism about their penis. They like compliments about their penis, but not too much criticism. So
Right.
it's
Well,
tricky.
and that's the tricky part is how do you have that discussion where you're talking about all the things that give you pleasure, all the things that
Hmm.
that partner does for you. And then say, these are some things I'd like to try or some things
Yeah.
I'm really interested in. But you do have to lay the groundwork of how attracted you are to that person, how
Hmm.
much you love connecting with them, how the sex is great. Here are some things I'd like to try. And having that, it's a non-threatening position because you're coming into it saying, here's all these wonderful things about you and your penis and all the things that I love about you.
Right.
But I'd also like to try X, Y, and Z. And so that then it doesn't come off as you're not pleasing me. It's
Yeah.
it's rather these are some other things that sound interesting to me or things that I'd like to give it a go and see how it works.
And that's good advice for all things related to relationships.
Absolutely.
And never have these discussions in the bedroom unless you're talking about something new you want to try, but nothing that's might be interpreted as constructive criticism. Again, air quotes. Nobody wants to hear constructive criticism in the bedroom. They just don't.
No. No, no, no.
Yeah, no, please no.
We call it, sandwiching. You start out with something good, you put what you'd like to change, and then you end with something good as well. And
Perfect.
you got
Yes.
your nice little sandwich right there.
Absolutely. She's a lovely person. It sounds like they're having a really good time. Just for
Yes.
once, she's like, I don't want to let him go. It's going to work. We're going to make it work. And I said, I have all the faith in the world. And I said, you might also try reverse cowgirl, or even try getting on top on the couch where he can, especially if you have like a lazy boy where he can kind of lean back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because then and if he, I guess, has a little bit of a tummy, she has a tummy. So it kind of moves the tummies away from each other.
Right, right. No,
She
that's a
said
great suggestion.
they've been able to make scissoring work, which worked really well for her, but she said he didn't like it that much. He
Mm,
liked that she enjoyed it, but it wasn't that great for him.
yeah.
But I'm like, sometimes, it's your day. And I think too, you should have a fuck it list, right? Instead of a bucket list, you have all the things you want to try in bed. And
Exactly.
keep a I don't know, keep a pad of paper around, and like, babe, I always want to try this. Let's try this. So let's get this toy.
Right.
Because, oh man, if you've had sex with the same person over and over and over and over and over again, it can get a little tedious. So you have to find ways to keep it interesting. People say, oh, they just always joke about keeping it fresh. I'm like, no, for real. You have to try to keep it fresh because
Yeah.
it's lovely because it does get better the longer you know each other, the longer you have sex together. But sometimes you're just like, you again.
I need yeah, I need something new and
What
different.
can I do? Right?
Well, and that's why, toys are so wonderful for you to
Yeah.
explore. And
Yeah,
for
for
so many
sure.
folks, I know not you or me, but
Yeah.
for most folks, they don't have a chest full of
Right.
everything available. So,
Totally.
going with your partner to a sex store or a
So
boutique
fun.
and
Yeah.
yeah, maybe let's each pick out a thing and then meet at the register,
Sure. It's a
or
great idea.
let's both pick out one thing together that's something we've never done but wanna give a try.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great idea. I love that. That would be so fun. Can you imagine how fun that would be? Oh, I would totally dig that myself. Just
Right?
let's go surprise each other. Go
Yeah.
buy something crazy and then try it out.
Well, it's like those viral, TikToks where they do a date night where they walk down the aisle and stick their hand out, and then somebody will go, "Stop," and
Right.
that's the treat they're taking home, and stop for the movie and all that kinda stuff. Same thing with sex toys. You can walk into the store and be like, "Okay, go through the lube. Go
Yep.
stop," you know? So,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
can have just as much
Anyway,
fun doing that.
yes, you can. A lot of fun.
Like, yeah, I would say
And
have her give those things a try and then
yeah,
come
we'll
back
see.
to us. I'm
Well,
also wondering too if she's orgasming, she said it happens mainly when she's about to orgasm. I
so
wonder if
she's
she's
clenching down and it pops it
clenching.
out.
Yep, yep,
Hmm.
yeah,
That's why I was thinking maybe try the bullet because maybe she won't clench so hard.
right,
Maybe she still will. I don't know. Everybody's so different. But you can, some women, very, not a lot, but can have vaginal orgasms.
right.
It's more rare. Usually, I guess it happens typically if someone's having their cervix bumped.
Mhm,
But we have all kinds. I mean, there's a million ways to have an orgasm.
right,
So who knows? But maybe she's more of a vaginal person. Some people need to have that feeling of fullness to even have a clitoral orgasm.
mhm,
You can have an anal orgasm. You can have an orgasm from somebody sucking your toes, which is so amazing because there's so many ways to make this happen. If you're in the moment, right, and you're in it and you want to do this, like you want to make it happen.
right,
Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to say that a million times, just like communication is lubrication.
exactly, and my body is not a Yelp review.
That's right. This is not TripAdvisor, okay?
That's right. Yeah, well, I would
Totally.
love to hear what she ends up, trying
Okay.
and
Yeah,
deciding, but, I hope that one of those things works for her.
me too.
Yeah. Hey, we also got a suggestion.
Mm.
My friend, the Texas food dude,
Oh
he's on
yeah, right.
YouTube.
Hmm.
He does cooking and food reviews, and he said, it'd be great. He listened to our first episode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he said it was great. He goes, I would love if you guys did every once in a while, like viewers send in their wildest or their most awkward sex stories and
Oh,
us to comment on them
okay.
and kind of dissect them. And so I said, "Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's a really great suggestion. I'll bring it up to Crystal and see what she thinks."
First thing I think about is the first time I ever broke a bed, and yes, I've done it more than once. It's so embarrassing.
Oh, but great stories, right?
Yeah. Great sex. But yeah. Oh, sucks.
I think we probably get some really wild stuff.
That was a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
Maybe that thermos that I got with our logo on it. Maybe we should do some kind of drawing for all the craziest stories and then give somebody a BigSexyChat water thermos bottle
I
thingy.
love it.
Isn't
Yeah,
that cool? Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you to Ashley. Ashley had that made for me for my birthday. I'm going to order a bunch of them so we can all have one. It's so cool.
that's great.
But yeah, thank you, food dude. That's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah. He was like, that would be really fun. You guys just like talking about it and dissecting it and, hearing and maybe even giving suggestions for folks in the future if they wanted to try something like that. So I thought, well, yeah, I'll bring it up.
I just remembered one
A sex story.
embarrassing, crazy story where it was when I was a lot younger and we had been home at my parents' house sleeping on air mattress, and it was breakfast time and my dad was cooking breakfast. So we thought we'd have a little bit of sex and then we'd go have breakfast. And my dad decided to walk in,
Ah,
and my feet are like, you can see my toes.
there.
And my partner is, I was like, oh, we're 21 and 23 years old. Why would you walk into a room? Breakfast is ready. I was like, okay, we'll be right there. My
Oh,
partner was like, I'm going to go out the garage. I'm going to catch the next flight home. I'm like, no, just stay.
right.
We all got here the same way. Our parents had sex.
Yes.
He's
They're
like, I don't know if
aware.
I could go back out there. I'm like, he's made you hot cakes. You better go.
Yep. He's going to be
So
more
embarrassed.
offended if you bail on.
He was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, but I was like, it's on him. You know what? That's on my dad. It's
Yeah.
his fault.
Yeah.
Don't ever walk into somebody's bedroom, especially when they're 21 and 23. Okay.
Early
Duh.
morning when
What do you
they
think
know
we were doing?
yeah, exactly.
Exercising? We were kind of, excuse me, we kind of were exercising.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Good
fantastic.
times. I love that idea. Let's do that. So we'll have to figure out how we could do that. And yeah, we'll find a way.
We'll make a little special segment that we throw in there every once in a while.
Absolutely. I love it. It's really, yeah, I can imagine the great stories we're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then, anything else? Anything else from listeners? Any other emails or anything else that we want to talk before I start talking about the vibe of the week?
No, I thought we were gonna do hot topics.
Oh, yes, hot topics time. You're right. Hot topics.
We'll bounce back to that.
Okay.
Okay.
What are our hot topics this week? Do we have one?
Too fat for lingerie.
Oh, yeah, duh. I forgot about that one. Yes. Okay.
The
So let me bring
pineapple.
you. What's that?
I said pineapple.
Pineapple.
We're gonna go back to doing hot topics. So I'll say to you, Crystal, we've got a hot topic today.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Crystal, we have a hot topic.
Yes, one of my favorite topics. So, for those of you who don't know me, I used to own a lingerie store called Curvy Girl Lingerie in San Jose, California. And it was the first ever lingerie store designed for people of size. So, we carried only size 14 and higher. We also carried sex toys. But yeah, so I just knew I couldn't be the only fat girl that wanted lingerie. And so I decided to create a boutique, and I had it for 5 years, and it was wonderful. But the question I the question I used to get asked all the time was, "But am I too fat for lingerie?" No, you're
No.
not too fat for lingerie. Nobody is.
No. All bodies deserve to be
Absolutely.
flocked in is it flocked? Frocked? I don't
Frocked, yes.
yes, and gorgeous fabrics and stuff
Right.
that makes you feel good and sexy and
Yes. I
attractive.
agree. It's all of our birthright, right? But to have as much pleasure as our body's capable of creating, and it's not size the size of your body doesn't limit what kind of pleasure and what kind of lingerie you can enjoy. And I think I might have mentioned this before on the last episode, but women would come in and ask me questions like, do you have anything that can camouflage my upper arms? No,
Right.
I don't. Nobody's looking at your upper arms,
No.
not in that moment. I mean, of course we would sell robes and things like that, but this cumbersome, not really, not comfortable, not easy to wear while you're getting busy. Yeah, but a lot of my female clients they were trying to find ways to hide their lower tummy or their upper arms.
Yeah.
Like the problem area, as we call it, right? It's called the problem area again, air quotes. People don't like their upper arms. They don't like their lower tummy often. Sometimes they're embarrassed to have their big butt show. I'm like, girl, please.
Right.
Big butts are in.
So put it on.
Let it out.
Put
Put
it
it
on
on blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're intimate enough with somebody to have sex with them, I don't think they're going to care about your upper arms.
No.
So what I found owning the boutique was there's a lot of coaching, a lot of emotional labor, a lot of trying to help people look, appreciate their bodies and learn to love their bodies exactly as they are in that moment. Lord knows all of our bodies change constantly. I know I have probably 4 or 5 different sizes of clothes in my closet. I think we all do. And it's just, I wish it didn't have to be that difficult, to really convince people, no, you can wear lingerie. You can wear anything you want to wear. If you want to be naked, if you want to wear the strappy, little outfits that make you look like you just popped out of a biscuit can, do it. Some people are into that, and some people love that. And also, I think, it's an expression of your desire to be vulnerable with your partner and let them see,
Right.
and it's, if they love you, hopefully, or they're into you, one of the two, right? And
Exactly.
they know how big you are, and they still want to have sex with you. So why are we so hung up? But we are. I mean, even I have days where I'm like, oh, my lower tummy, I'm not a big fan all the time. Sometimes I love it, and other times I'm like, ugh. But I don't let that hold me back, because life is short. Life is way short, and no, nobody's too fat for lingerie. And the cool thing is that some brands now are making lingerie past a size 28.
Yeah.
And you can go to, like, this woman, Bertha, the Size Queen Clothing. She'll make lingerie to your measurements. Mallory of Smart Glamour she'll make lingerie. Well, she makes everything she makes in size 0 to size 15X. And if you need higher than 15X, she'll make that for you too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She feels that lingerie and clothes should be accessible to everybody, not just, the size 4s. She said it's not, and she's like probably a size 4, and she really strongly believes she's an amazing ally. And she makes everything she makes it every single size. She makes a pattern for every single size, and if you want to order it, she's, like I said, up to 15X, and she'll go beyond that if you need to. And there's not a lot of them, especially, when I had my store, I was buying lingerie from distributors or manufacturers and reselling it. And what designers and manufacturers go by is, how much do you sell? So if I didn't sell a lot of 28s of something until it went on sale, then people would think, oh, it's not really doing that well. Nobody really wants it. And I'd be like, no, I need size 30, 32, 34, 36, up to 40. Like, I think Lane Bryant now goes up to 40, at least online they do. But they just don't believe me. And I'm like, unless I have the sales and I reorder the same stuff over and over, they won't make more. And so it's like, oh, it's like the horse before the cart. Like, we have to figure this out. If you buy stuff on sale or deep discount or clearance, they just ignore that.
Right.
Sucks.
But I mean, it's so multi-layered in the fact that,
Yeah.
first of all, like you said, people don't feel always comfortable putting on lingerie. So
Yep.
then they don't think, well, it's not even available in my size, so why am I going to look?
Yep.
So they don't even go and try to check out where that would be available or what
Yep.
is, because people have told them over and over again, you should be ashamed of yourself and hide yourself, and you should not be pretty and wear
Yeah.
sexy clothes that make you feel good. So,
Yep.
that's one aspect of it. And then you have,
Mm-hmm.
well, the fashion industry says that because I have to use more fabric, air quotes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to charge you a lot more for being fat. And so then it's like, okay, well, I would really love this, but I can't afford it
Right.
because you've now made it impossible for me to have really sexy clothes because you wanna say that it took so much more out of you to make it.
And then there's the systemic things, like, people who are larger often don't make as much money as our thinner counterparts.
Right.
So sometimes we're often more marginalized and have jobs that don't make as much money. So we don't have the extra money for the extra lingerie. Is just for fun. It's not required, right? So
Yeah.
it's just when you have a little bit of extra income, that's when you think about buying lingerie. And so oftentimes fat people don't make as much money as thinner people, and that's bullshit. Pisses me off.
It is. It's absolute bullshit, and I think that
Hmm.
we really struggle as a society, accepting anything that's outside of our norm,
Oh
and
yeah.
when
Hmm.
you are in charge of creating the norm as the society, then everybody else is kinda sitting on the sidelines going, "But what about me?"
Yeah, Mallory of Smart Glamour, she has this really interesting sort of talk that she gives. It talks about how it's such bullshit that when the designers say, "Well, it's more fabric," she's like, "It doesn't even no." She said, "No." And if that was the case, then why don't they just charge less for the size 0 and charge the regular price for the size 30?
Right.
Like, why are we're being penalized? And why is it on a spectrum then? Like, why is it just the same price and then $10 more for the fat tax? It's like
Yeah.
she's amazing. She's, like I said, she's an amazing ally, and she's done the measurements, she's done the numbers, she's run the fabric, everything. And she's like, no, it doesn't
Doesn't
hold water at all.
Yep, but they'll tell you
Mhm.
that, and they'll
Yep.
give you that fat tax and say, "Guess what?
Yep.
You gotta pay more money."
Right.
So do you have
Bullshit.
a favorite place, other than the 2 places? And say those again, Size Queen and Smart Glamour?
Yeah, Smart Glamour has a website. She has a great website. I do. I like to shop at Lane Bryant myself, and
Mhm.
I like their lingerie when they have it. Some of their stores, well, I think we only have one left here, but sometimes they don't have a lot of lingerie.
Yeah.
Sometimes Torrid has lingerie. I like some of their stuff. Sometimes the Torrid stuff, it kind of, you got to be careful washing and drying it. Definitely don't dry it because it's not going to hold up very long. Just like their bras don't hold up very long, unfortunately,
Yeah.
or their t-shirts. It is fast fashion,
I
so
was gonna say pretty much any of their stuff.
yeah, pretty much. I
I
just used to.
really Oh, sorry.
I used to love their underwear, but
Oh,
now
yeah.
I like the Lane Bryant underwear now.
Yeah. Well, you know what really pisses me off? I love satin, and
Oh,
Lee Bryant used to make satin underwear.
yeah.
They've switched to this micro sheen stuff, which
Hmm.
doesn't feel the same, doesn't fit the same, any of that.
Nope. Yeah.
Like, what
Doesn't breathe.
if you're, like, over a size 10, good luck finding satin anything,
I know. It's
unless it's
true.
a cami, kind of
Hmm.
body gown kind of thing. But underwear, yeah, it's, like, nearly impossible. It used to be a staple at
Yeah.
Lane Bryant.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of my clients was on my table today. We were talking about why, when they make larger underwear, don't they make a larger gusset? Like, you get your underwear and they fit you, but then they have this little narrow crotch.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm going to need a little more. Just maybe like a half an inch on each side, please.
Yeah,
Just a tiny bit more.
just even it out.
I mean, make it to in relation to the underwear, the larger underwear. That part should also be expanded.
I'd prefer not to have a thong around my vulva. Like,
And if you're like a person like me who's 54 and I pee every time I sneeze, always wearing a panty liner,
yeah,
and the panty liner doesn't even fit in. I'm like,
no,
sir, please, may I have a little more, just a little more, please. It's not
right?
that I don't. What don't they understand? Like,
I don't think they care.
I
I
guess not.
think that's what it boils down to. I just
Probably
don't
not.
think they care.
It didn't
I,
occur to them. I guess
right.
the little skin, more skin there.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I've really kind of jumped into Shein.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know if you know about them, so
Yeah.
it's, very much fast fashion, like,
Fast fashion.
fast, 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 like, bullet train fast, but very, very affordable,
Very, very, very affordable.
and if you know your measurements, you can be successful navigating their site. So you really have to know your measurements, and you have to check every single item that you're going to purchase.
Right.
But, I mean, I've had binges where I've, like, purchased so much lingerie from them, and it didn't even break $100.
Sweet.
I'm buying bra and panty sets,
Mm,
I'm buying, they make a lot of, like, PVC pleather
I love that
kind of
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, there's just a lot to choose from, and it's really, really cheap, so, something to check out.
You brought up an interesting point because sometimes I do buy lingerie on Hips and Curves online,
Mhm.
and even when I had my store, my clients would say, "Oh, I always love anything that I buy from you that's made by Shirley of Hollywood." So they would get in their mind that anything from Shirley of Hollywood, they can all buy the same. I always get a 3-4X and have Shirley of Hollywood. So I'm going to buy, XYZ. I'm going to get a 3-4X because it's Shirley of Hollywood. I'll say, I know it seems like it's the same designer. The 3-4X would be identical, but they're not.
Right. Not at all.
One's sewn in Mexico, one's sewn in
Indonesia.
Florida or
Yeah.
Indonesia. And it's so frustrating.
All over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does really, it helps to know your measurements big time.
Especially with whenever you're buying from an international brand,
Yes.
you want to be sure that whatever measurements you're using, you have a clear explanation of like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
not UK, or this is not,
Right.
like, this is US sizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been really successful. I wear a 4X and have not had, I think I've had probably less than 5 pieces that didn't really fit.
Wonderful.
And, I just give them to my friends and say, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, have fun."
Yeah.
Because it's not worth sending back at that cost. It's like,
Right.
"Oh, it's an $8 bra and panty set." It's like, "No, whatever."
Yeah, it's going to cost $16 to return it. Shipping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, what I've found that I really enjoy, and I don't know if you've heard of this brand before, but, it's called Body Love, BAWDY.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah.
Yeah. And they
It's my style.
Yeah, they custom make, their stuff handmade. It's like they have their whatever their sets are. So they have,
Mm-hmm.
like, stuff that's versatile enough where you can wear it swimming,
Yeah.
and it's strappy and it's sexy and it's just,
Burlesque-ish, right?
yeah, it's got, like,
Yeah.
wild
Good
prints and
stuff. Yeah.
bright, vivid colors. And now it is more expensive because, yeah, they're making it so that you can, go swimming in it,
Mm-hmm. Make it to last.
and handmade, yeah.
Quality.
Got tons of stretch too. So, like,
Awesome.
I buy it in a 3-4, and you could easily be a 5, potentially a 6,
Uh-huh.
and still have room, but it's not hanging
Cool.
off of you. It's just
Yeah.
enough movement to it where you can really kind of play in between sizes, which is,
Awesome. I'll have to check it out.
yeah.
Do you know, are you friends with Marcy Cruz?
Mm-mm.
She's like Saucye in a way, in that she's advocating for sizes above a size 30. She's been on my fat product review YouTube channel with me, and she's an amazing fat activist. I met her in New York City at like Fashion Week about 8 years ago. I love this woman.
Yeah.
She says the most important thing for a fat woman who's shopping online is to know your exact measurements. And she says you need to go out and get yourself an extra large tape measure that you can get all the way around your hips and get if it's a 70, that's what it says. So you don't have to try to figure it out. And she said you have to, before you go online, is have all of your measurements. That way you can just click, click, click. And this one I'm going to buy a 3X, and this one I'm going to buy 5X because of your measurements. You know what they are exactly, and you have the right tape measure for it.
I literally have them in the notes section of my phone,
Perfect.
because when
Yes.
I am shopping, because I'm usually doing that from my phone,
Right.
I am like, "Okay, is this gonna fit me?" And
Right.
I go through, "Okay, yeah, nope, nope,
Good.
hips aren't big enough," or,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider, like, the type of lingerie that you're getting. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it won't fit around your hips, but it's one of those that's a super flowy fabric that
Sure.
technically is going to fit over your hips.
Yep.
You need to focus in on the bust fitting, and then the rest of it will flow, and that kind
Absolutely.
of thing. So, yeah,
I
there's
think Marcy's blog, I think, is fearlessly just me. And she's often a fit model for some brands. So
oh,
they use her body for their, like, I think she might be like a size 30, and they make their clothes in a size 30 based on her body
that's
dimensions.
awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about, yes, there's nobody's too fat for lingerie.
No.
Nobody's too hairy for lingerie. Nobody's too old for lingerie. Lingerie is designed for everybody. And even if you just wear it for yourself, it makes you feel great and sexy and pretty. And, I like to be pretty and sexy for myself. And then if I feel good about myself, then maybe, my partner's going to enjoy that as well. But all I really am trying to focus on is me.
Right.
Right. And I feel like as I get older, I feel this very strongly, but I'm getting greedy. I want to make everything about me.
Yeah.
And especially in the bedroom, the more I make it about me and the more pleasure I have, the more pleasure he has. So
Exactly.
get greedy. Just get greedy. Everybody get out there, just get greedy.
Get greedy, and it really can be foreplay. Lingerie
Absolutely.
can
Yes.
absolutely be foreplay. You can be like, "I'm gonna buy this sexy bra and panty set. I'm gonna wear it all day knowing it's underneath and, whatever the texture feels on my skin and blah, blah,
Uh-huh.
blah." And then when I get home and my partner takes my clothes off, wow, big
Right?
surprise, like, the element of surprise can be a really hot thing.
In the
And
before
work
times,
yourself up, yeah.
in the before times before the pandemic, I would even text my boyfriend. I'm at Torrid's dressing room right now looking for some lingerie, getting
Yes.
some new panties. And when I get home, I'm like, so fun. More foreplay.
Exactly. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Everyone needs to have their go-to lingerie set, something that makes them feel
absolutely.
good. Men,
Even if they're
women,
just jammies.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Non-binary men, women, everybody deserves to have sexy lingerie that makes them feel good.
What is those that brand that's kind of focused on queer people, non-binary?
Tomboy X.
Tomboy
Tomboy
X,
X. Tommy Boy
Tomboy
X.
X,
I
Tommy
have
Boy X.
Tommy
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Tommy Boy X, but let me double check. Um, yeah, I have a really cute, pride print set from them,
Oh yes, I remember that one. Hmm.
boxer set, and, it has a cute little, um, bralette that goes with it that
Perfect.
matches. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Tommy
Yeah,
Boy.
for those who are listening, if they don't know about it, it would be a good brand to know about, especially if you're queer and fat or you're non-binary. I mean, for everybody, really. I hope to order some of their underwear. I love to wear boxers and boxer briefs, so
Yeah,
they're just for anybody and everybody. But I think their focus is like less on femmes like me,
right,
and it's I mean, everything's made for that demographic anyway.
right,
It's nice if somebody focuses on others besides us.
right.
Is it is
Tomboy
it
X.
Tomboy X? Okay, yeah, Tommy
Yeah.
Boy's a movie, Adam Sandler movie, whom I
I was
love.
thinking of, Tommy John's, so that's another
Oh,
version, a guy version of,
yeah,
yeah, underwear and lingerie.
cool, cool.
Yeah, Tomboy X. I've had a couple of really great purchases from them. I do notice that, I shouldn't put it in the dryer. Like, I should
Okay.
probably hang those because the cotton, it shrinks, and
Oh,
so then it's like, "Oh, then I've got the waistband in the wrong spot," and all that kinda
yeah.
thing, but
Oh, yeah. Been there, done that 100 times.
you're right,
We all have.
right. Yeah, hey, so, last week, we talked about the unicorn.
Hmm.
So what do you have for me for the vibe of the week?
Well, one of my favorite accessories, I wouldn't call it a vibrator, but it does have a certain vibe. It's a sling, which sounds strange, but it's made by a company called Sport Sheets, who makes the lovely plus size doggy style strap that we both love.
Yes.
The sling is a little bit different. Remember, I was talking earlier about having sex where you kind of get on the edge of the bed and you're almost your butt's almost a little bit off the bed and your legs go up onto their chest. Well, this sling takes a little bit of pressure off of you. So it has this kind of like, those airplane pillows that you put around your neck, they're inflatable.
Yes.
It's like that, except that it's vinyl and it's got like high density foam in it. And you put it around your neck and it has two straps attached to it. And the straps have like a little, what do you call it? Like a place to put your feet?
Like a
Like a
stirrup?
stirrup. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
When you get menopausal, you get word aphasia. So some words don't come to you right away. It drives me crazy. I'm new to menopause. But yeah, it has little stirrups in it. So you put your little toes through there. And then what it does, it allows you to keep your legs up in the air longer.
Yeah, you can
So when
cinch it.
sometimes mine are like shaky when I'm up there so long.
Yep.
And so yeah, it kind of and then he can also like grab the straps or grab my ankles and I can just stay in that position longer. And I love it. And it's really good for fat girls. I don't have a lot of my legs are very strong, but my core is not.
Mhm.
And even though I try always to strengthen my core, just not something that comes to me naturally. So this sling, it's very comfortable. Sometimes when I show it to people, they go, "Oh, it looks like I'm going to get a headache from it." You really don't. I mean, I'm not prone to headaches, but I don't find that it puts any extra pressure on my neck or anything. In fact, I find it kind of relaxing because like the little cushion part goes under that part of my neck, and then I can kind of like tilt my head back, and it feels really good to me. It's like
Yeah.
it's stretching my neck muscles in a way. And then, yeah, my feet are so much more comfortable, and I can do that position a lot longer than I can without it. And that's fun.
Same. So
Yes. Oh, you tried it? You liked it?
I've tried it. I love it.
Okay. And you get migraines sometimes, don't you?
I get really, really bad
Okay.
migraines,
And this
and
doesn't
I
bother you?
not at all, not
Okay.
at all. That high density foam, whatever it is that they put in there, it's like having
Yes.
a perfect little sized pillow right
Uh-huh.
in
Yes.
your neck. And
Exactly.
the little you can basically like cinch the straps so
Yes.
it will pull it like tighter.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Really gives you that feeling of like I'm secure and my legs are way up in the air,
And you're very secure.
and I'm not exerting the same kind of effort to maintain my legs to be up.
Exactly. Yep.
So that penetration is so much deeper.
Deeper, much deeper. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be a great show for, our listener, male. The
Yes, yes.
called in, yeah.
Yeah, I sell it on my Bliss website, and it's like less than $50, and it's so worth having around. It's so worth it. And I forgot, you're right, they are very adjustable.
Yep,
So once I kind of get situated, then he adjusts it, and then I'm getting all that support,
yep.
and my legs are just like, I could do this all day.
Right?
If you can, I can.
Exactly, like,
Have some water nearby. Stay hydrated.
that's right.
Excuse me.
Some
Yeah,
Gatorade
it's
or
true.
something to replenish those electrolytes and get
Pedialyte.
that's right.
Yeah, like some good lube. Have to have that silicone lube too.
Oh, yeah. No, the silicone makes a big difference with that, but
Good stuff.
yeah,
I highly recommend it for fat girls and thin girls too, or fat
yeah.
people. I should say people because anybody could use it really.
Yeah. It's so versatile and so simple. Like,
Yeah,
people with the doggy strap, we'll talk about that at some point.
yeah,
But people be like, "Well, I just use my hands." And it's like, "Well, that's great." But
yeah,
for the rest of us, where that's taxing to hold yourself in that position when
yeah.
you've got extra weight and not having to think about that or worry about that and have the option to just whoop, put the straps on, you're
Awesome.
cinched in, ride of your life.
It's
Like,
like
get
pulling
going.
it.
Uh-huh.
I love it. That thing. Oh,
Yeah.
the coolest thing about the plus size doggy style strap is that, as far as I know, it was the very first ever product or toy made specifically for fat people.
Mm.
And I love that company, Sports Sheets. If you ever see that brand, whether you buy it from me or you go to another sex toy store or website or Amazon, if you see the brand Sports Sheets, I'm here to tell you it's great quality. It'll last forever.
Yep.
You can throw it in the washer and the dryer if you want to. I usually just wash it and then hang it. Any of my Sports Sheet products, and it's awesome. They make most of their products in Southern California, which is really rare in the adult industry because most of the things are made in Taiwan. And oh yeah, they're the great company, great people, and they care about fat bodies, which is so rare. It's yeah, they're like, oh yeah, duh. Fat people have money and fat people have sex. A lot
Yeah.
of it. Duh.
They've started using, plus size models
I
for their
know.
advertising of their
I
plus
love
size
it.
brand.
Finally.
April Flores and Carla Lane, I think, are the
Yeah.
2 for the over-the-door sling.
Uh-huh.
We were walking through a store the other day. We have a Hustler in Sacramento.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we do
And
too.
yeah, and so I was like, "Okay, let's go in there and check it out," and they had the new sports sheet stuff, and
Oh,
there's all this stuff, lined up, and I turn and see the box of the plus size brand, and it's 2 gorgeous fat girls, in these sexy poses, and I'm just like, "Yes! Like, I've waited for this my whole life."
we need to get April on the show sometime. That'd be so fun to interview her. My hustler store here, I always tell them I just want to move in, okay?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, and there's like so many things, and then that big, huge charging table, that
Yeah.
everything they have that just it's kind of like those chargers that you can get for your phone where it's not you don't have to plug anything in, you just set it down on your phone on top of the little charger.
Yep.
They have this table and it lights up from the bottom, so it has like up light, oh,
Right.
filled with dildos, and I'm like, I'm moving in. I'm never gonna leave this place.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
with that, like,
It's
blonde wood that's everywhere, and yeah, it's
they
just
have it
gorgeous.
all too. And I don't care how kinky you are or how vanilla you are. They have something for everybody
Yep.
there.
Yep,
It's
they really do.
amazing. Yeah. I love good vibrations, but we don't have one down here. There's
Yeah.
one in Santa Cruz and a couple in the city in San Francisco, but not down here. I love their approach to sex toys because they're very like educational, and hustler stores is hit and miss with who works there,
Yeah.
but sometimes you can get a really good salesperson. And yeah,
Yeah.
the
It
one
makes a
that
difference.
the one that we have here is right across the street from a strip club called the Pink Poodle. So you can see, and the girls don't like to go down to the crosswalk at the light. So they, in their little robes with the feathers on them and stuff, they're like booking it across this big busy street called Bascom Avenue in their heels and stuff. You can see them running to the hustler store. Then you see them running back. It's awesome. It's so fun.
That's fantastic.
But
I
yeah,
love
I love this sling. I think it's called a sling on my website. And
mm,
yeah, it's under $50. It's so worth it. It's just fun to just do something different too, because again, sex with the same person for a long, long time.
right.
Sometimes you gotta just try something new, and you bring in a
Absolutely.
new accessory, and it's all like new again.
Yeah, well, and you don't realize how something so simple like a little strap can make the biggest difference to your sex
Absolutely.
session.
Yep.
It's
Yep. Got to
wild.
keep it fresh.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you're buying a quality brand,
Yep.
you know you're getting something good, and you just pull it out whenever you're just like, "You know what? I'd really love missionary right now, but I want I'm one of those, like, I want my feet above my head, like, that's where
Yes.
I wanna be right now," and
Uh huh.
it provides you that opportunity, and for a person of size, it's delightful. It feels like,
Absolutely.
"Wow, this doesn't have to be an issue about anything."
Wow, I can breathe.
Right. Right.
Because sometimes if I get too much pressure put on my legs, that puts pressure on my tummy, then it
Right.
makes it hard for me to actually breathe oxygen. And
Exactly.
so oxygen is important for an orgasm, just like blood flow,
Yes.
and to stay alive. It's
And just
crucial. Yeah, it does. It just for me. That's one of the things it helps me with a lot is the actual breathing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, I can't breathe. You
Right?
know.
Or saying, time out," like, "Let me I gotta pause." Okay,
Totally. I
and then
love it.
but having like, the communication, lubrication, right? Having that discussion.
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
takes
Yes.
that off of you can include, like you said, that you can include a longer sex session, you can do new
Hmm.
positions because you have those options with something like that sling.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah,
So I think that we've covered everything today. Yeah.
I believe so.
So
Should we
what's
should we
I
talk
was
about a new, guest coming on?
yes, go for it, please. Yeah.
So
I'm so excited.
yeah, one of our good friends, Substantia Jones, who, if you do not know about her, where have you been? Are you under a rock?
Especially if you're
Because
fat.
yeah, she runs the Adipositivity Project, and she has had quite an interesting life. I'm really excited to get to talk to her, and I'm excited to ask questions. But I hope that our audience will do a little Google searching if they don't know Substantia, and send us some questions to ask her
Good idea.
live on our show for
Yeah.
the next recording.
That a positive as a she's at a positivity project is a project where she goes around basically the world and photographs fat people. They don't pay any money. She does the photography, and then of course, you sign a release, and she sometimes puts the photography in a calendar. She has online site you can buy prints and stuff, and there. If you really if you have a hard time seeing the beauty in your own self, but you see the beauty in other fat bodies, you can look at her stuff and just be like, this person has the same body as me, and look how beautiful she is.
Right.
It's just so reaffirming, I think. And she's amazing, amazing photographer, amazing person,
Yeah.
smart ass. She has the best comebacks to the trolls on Facebook ever. She does not play.
No. He's playing for keeps.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. She's really good at it. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited to interview her. That's going to be a lot of fun. Just have a chat with her, and we'll ask her about her favorite sex toy, too.
yeah, I was gonna say, I wanna hear what she's got to say, for the
I'm, sh-
vibe of the week.
I'm sure she has a lot to say.
I'm sure.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you, though, is what is it that we need to ask our listeners? We need to ask them to like and subscribe or write a review. What's the best thing for the people? I know we have to wrap it up, but what's the best thing we should end on?
Absolutely. So you can find your favorite fatties, Crystal and Merf, at
Yeah.
BigSexyChat.com. You can find our podcast on any major streaming service except Spotify.
Fuck Spotify.
If you want to help us out, please like, subscribe, and review.
Okay.
That really will help get our name out there, and that's what we're trying to do.
Heck
You
yeah.
can you can find us at Big Sexy Chat on Facebook and Instagram, and Big Sexy Chat Pod on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me, Murph, at Murphy Girl Review on Twitter and Murphy Girl Adventures on Instagram. And Crystal, please share
My
personal.
sure. My sex toy website is blissconnection.com. And you can find me as Crystal Bugon on Facebook. On Twitter, I'm Bliss Connection. I have the Curvy Girl page on Facebook. It is all kinds of things. I'll put it in the notes so people can find us if they really want to.
That sounds fantastic. I was going to say,
Wonderful. Thanks.
probably spell your last name.
Oh, right. And my first name, too. My first name is Chrystal. And then my last name is Bougon. If you want to see some crazy stuff, Google my name. Oh, I've been through the ringer. Some of you might not know, but I had a troll, a person from Sacramento, the Fit Mom, troll my store and my fat friends. And yeah, I ended up going like on a media tour of all the different media outlets for like 2 weeks. It was crazy, but you can find it all on Google. Just Google my name, and it's all out there.
Remember that and just being like, oh, why does she have to be from Sacramento?
I know, right? Oh gosh, that
Yeah,
poor girl.
I know. This
Awesome.
has been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to our next pod.
Me too. Thanks, Mick. Thanks, Murph. Nice chatting with you.
Nice chatting with you.
Good night.
Bye.
Yay, we did good.
I think so.